So what was that point, Pat? What was that point for you when you were like, this has changed?
It was, I don't want to do that. It was just, I don't want to do this anymore.
Was there like an event that happened?
Well, I mean, I had an event before that where I had a car accident and died in it, basically. And you would have thought that would be, you know, that. And I was just telling Tim actually the other day, for me, it wasn't. It was like, look at me. I'm invincible. Like I can do this, die in a car accident, still be good. But yeah, and you know, I'll be honest when I say this too. Like when I had a little sobriety a couple of years ago, and someone asked me, "Do you miss it?" And I said, "Yeah, I do. I miss the effects of the drugs."
Yeah.
But this time around, because I only went on like a 3 or 4 day, when I say only 3-4 day binge, but it just absolutely knocked me out. It's just the drugs out there are so different. It's just not even.
If you're on the fence about quitting doing drugs, right now is the time to quit doing drugs.
There's fentanyl.
You couldn't hold a gun on me and make me do a drug.
I remember. You know, people are saying they were worried, Pat, you're doing fentanyl. No, I got a good guy. I'm not, there's no fentanyl.
Yeah, famous last words, right?
So I got getting a detox and when's the last time you did fentanyl? I said, I didn't do fentanyl.
They did a tox screen on
They're
you?
like, well, you got high levels of it in your system. I'm like,
you didn't realize.
Really?
Same thing with us. This is a long time ago when it was first coming around, but I don't know what year this was, 15 or something like that, 16. I remember one time I got some stuff and I did it at a line, and I remember I was nodding out, and then I would be up, and I go, "What is this?" You know what I mean? And they're like, "It's probably laced with something." I go, "Oh, you know what you're talking about?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "Buddy, I don't do that, man."
Right,
you know what I mean? But you know, nowadays it'll kill you, man. It's over with. So now you're getting. So what led to? So you're clean, right? Mm-hmm. You go through treatment this time and then a couple times. And now you and your wife are together. And like I said, get in as much as you want or not bro. And the reason why I like doing this is like some of my favorite stuff to do, is because you got a year clean. That's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. The first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day of the year. And I know personally, in the cases you and I had, life ain't easy. And you just said it at the beginning. So I like people to see this. It's easy to look at somebody and say, and I'm just throwing a name here. I'm not saying their life is perfect. Let's say a Blake Becker or a John Huffman or even us, even people hold us on a certain, they think, oh man, their marriage must, no, I drive her nuts and we have fights too. And we argue, we handle them different now than we used to, besides kicking windshields out and getting arrested and stuff like that. But now we know how to have healthy angry and discuss it and get it. But I'm saying, I like to see it because you're walking through it right now. Okay, it ain't like 5 years from now you're remarried. You're just, you know what I'm saying. It ain't, and not saying, you know, but obviously God probably is going to bring somebody in your life or whatever. But I'm just saying, I like to see because you're walking through it every day, and life isn't easy. You're dealing with stuff. So the reason why I like you to share and do it, because they can see, oh, that's where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And
I'll be honest with you, that's why I like to talk about it any chance I kind of get, because I made a post a couple months ago on Facebook, or I didn't actually make a post about it, but someone called me and asked me about networking and this stuff. And I just, you know, how do I get to these groups? And he said, well, I was just telling a little bit about my background, overcoming drug addiction. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, me too. And he's like, what drug? And I'm like, you know, cocaine.
You never know.
Like, you never know.
Well, when you opened up to me at first, I was like, really? You're like, yeah. And I go, how long you been clean? And this has been in the middle of the election.
June.
You go, X amount. I go, really? You go, yeah. I go, well, bro. And I was like, hey, man, if you ever need to talk or anything, hit me up, bro. The last thing I said, I remember, I go, I'm proud of you, man. When we really, because I always like to say that, because it never gets old hearing that somebody's proud of you.
I never got that from my parents.
Yeah, me neither, bro.
I love you, or I'm proud. I feel like my whole life I was always.
You wanted
that. I just wanted that. You know?
Yeah, you want to hear. And my mom would say she was proud of me, but like she would overly loved me. If that sounds weird, but my dad would never say. My dad would, you know how my dad would brag on me, tell me he was good. He's like, you ever seen Dave's right hand? Well, he's got a good right hand. That was his way of saying he's good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, instead of going, hey man, I love you, son.
It just wasn't.
You're doing good.
I don't know if it was in a Czech culture or coming from. It just loving parent. Like my parents did everything they could to provide, me and my brother with a good home, and never, needed things, but it just wasn't in their DNA to say, I love you or I'm proud of you. And I feel like and then even my ex-wife, Emily, like never, like I thought I was doing cool things, being around cool, because people are like, oh, how do you know so person? How you're at this thing. But to my wife, it'd be like, why are you doing that? Why are you posting that? Oh, you're doing too much social media, So
she didn't understand that what you were ploying for. And what you're ploying for was saying, good job, bro.
I made the amends with her, that's why I try to explain. This is why I kind of like call it what you want, maybe insecure or whatever.
Well, we're all insecure.
But
I'm
the social media stuff,
too.
I number one, I enjoy doing it. It's turned into a business, but it makes me feel.
It makes you feel good.
It makes me feel good.
It's kind of like this, man. And we've talked about this, and me and Tim talk about this, and we just talked about this right when we were talking about somebody else. Restraining order. No, I'm just getting off camera. Never mind. You'll get the joke in a little bit later. Tim knows who we're talking about. But anyway, everybody. Hold on
to that.
Hey, wait, we need to give D a shout out.
D Money.
What's up, D?
Tim Jira. Pow, 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 pow. But everybody wants to be a part of something, and especially us dudes. Like back when you were probably working out back or whatever, you might have been the dude that had the stuff, So like you were important of being around, or you know what I mean, like that. So we all want a family, and that's like us. Coming to record here and all seeing us in this, it's almost like a family to me.
It really is.
And a lot of people will tell you 100%. They want you to win, but they don't want you to win ahead of them. And I don't care. They can give speeches, they can give reels, they can say whatever they want to say. I grew up in a pool hall, but I've been around some of the best hustles. I don't buy in all that. Loyalty is shown, not said, right?
Right.
And so, people were like, there's been, even since we've been doing this, different people, even up in Fort Myers and different studios, are like, hey, man, you guys got a pretty good following. If you want to shoot, I said, I shoot mine at 239 Live. That's my buddy. You know what I mean? And Tim gave me, when we didn't even have a podcast or whatever, came in. Why would I now? Because somebody wants to see that each other. Business is business. But I'm just saying, to me, it's not just shooting a podcast. When I come here, it's the whole experience. We all rebbing on each other. Get to see D Money, me and Tim joking.
Yeah, we hang out any chance we get.
We all.
It's like a family, and Tim's like the leader of the dysfunctional family, and I'm a little nervous because he's the captain of this shipwreck.
He sure is.
But no.
I mean,
we all want to belong, right? And that was what you were trying to do.
And I can honestly say I get such great satisfaction seeing my friends win. That's why people are like, oh, you're dick riding Blake, or why are you posting this Larry stuff? I just get a genuine satisfaction in seeing my boys, my family win. I wouldn't know any other way. Like,
when people are saying
I'm
that,
winning, I feel like
absolutely.
The people that are saying that, people that are saying that, it's just because they're not part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on with I'm just saying, Patrick, you're on here all the time posting with this, and who cares, buddy? If it bothers you, I say it in down there. And if you don't like it, you don't listen. And I put that on the Bible. I've had people say.
But too, we live in such a selfish culture.
That means shut up.
Where everything is
arm.
me. You know what I mean? So loyalty is something, I think you learn that, especially after all the things that we've been through.
Yeah.
And when somebody gives you a chance,
absolutely,
you appreciate
I'm extra
that.
grateful for those
absolutely.
people.
And you're going to show those people.
Absolutely.
And when you get sober and clean or set free or whatever you want to call it, you spent, like me, this is me personally. I said, excuse me, that's a clean cause. In this Flyfit tee and those Nebben eyewear. Okay, we're getting that out of the way. Got to pay some bills.
And that shiny plaque over there.
Hey!
We worked hard for that.
We worked hard for that plaque. But, so to me, like I said, people used to say if bull crap was music, I'd have an orchestra, because I could tell you, I'd say it all. I go so hard to try to not do that, because I was that guy. I want to That's like people say this. Why are you always talking about marriage? Or you going to this? Because I want to be the best husband I could be, because I was horrible. And then when I got with Jahnna and I was so in love with her, and I promised her I would never do this, it's going to be different, I failed again. And I remember, I'll get teary-eyed. When we got back together, I said, I promise you, if you trust me again, I'll be the best husband I can be for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And you know, now all these years and later,
you are, buddy.
and all these years later, not perfect, bro. I still lose my temper, say things I shouldn't do.
No, but
not
you're
learning,
great.
but I strive to it, and it's what's important. Some people, fishing is important, and that's cool. If you love to fish and you don't want to do stuff with your wife all the time, you can go to hell. That's okay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, if people want to do that you put whatever your time is into. I'm joking. Jimmy Evans did not approve that part of
that
this.
was good, right, D?
That was good, D. But no, it's whatever you put your time in. And what you're doing is, either I'm 100% whatever I do, right?
Yeah.
If it's bad, you do 2,
all
I
in,
do
you're
4.
That's all of our personalities.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
We're
So
going in.
why not do something positive? So what if they see, oh, you posting again, Pat? Oh, you always, who cares what them? Worry about the people that are celebrating you versus the people that do it, man. You know what I mean? That's, and
So one thing this time around too, I'm still not perfect at it, but stop caring what people think and just do me. Like,
That's something that we have to learn, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I think
I was always worried about everyone
people
else.
please, yeah, and everybody. I know one thing I want to encourage you, Pat, is to be you. Be 100% Pat, because there's only one Pat in this world. There's only one.
Thank
Pat
God for that, right, Tim?
That's and God created you special, Pat.
Thank you.
So don't feel like you have to be this person or this person. You know what I mean? Be comfortable with you.
Be you.
Be the best.
You know,
Pat,
I'll
because you have so much to offer, Pat.
That's
You do.
right.
I
Good
said
job,
it
Bob.
on Blake's podcast, and then Larry said I stole his line, but I'm comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
But for
the first time.
I
Yeah.
really,
And that-
long,
that's
long
Good
time.
feeling,
And
isn't it?
it's like me, man. I'm always, and see, people got different things of insecurity. You know, I lived in a place where there was a lot of different people in there. You couldn't show a certain thing the way you walked through where you were at. So I can walk in a room full of, I don't care who's in the room, and I'm not feared. And I'm not saying I'm the baddest dude in the room, but I'm not like intimidated by dudes that are in a room. Some people are. I happen to not be that.
Nice.
And I'll come in, and it was funny, John Huffman said something. He goes, usually I'm the crazy when I'm somewhere, but when I'm with him, he's the crazy one. And that's been my whole life. You know what I mean? It's just how I am. But there's other areas that I'm insecure in. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that I had to get through. So, but I do know this. Where I'm at in my life, talking about being comfortable, and that's a good saying. Larry, somebody else probably made it up.
Yeah.
You didn't make it up.
You make up
Jesus
everything,
probably
Larry,
made
love.
it up. Larry, you stole it from Jesus. No, but you might have made it up too. I'm just joking. But being comfortable in your own skin and being who you are, that comes with time. Because now I know what used to be important to me isn't important to me no more, right? Having a bunch of friends, give me 5 good friends versus everybody knowing who I am, or 2 or 3 or 4.
day,
Or
That's
give me
just reality. You're
some
only going to have so
people-
many real friends.
some people, like you said earlier, you think are rooting for you, and you're like, dude, I thought that dude loved. I mean, dude, I deal with this a lot.
Some of the stuff you find out, like this person saying that about
Yeah.
me.
No, dude, wait till
Yeah.
Hey, it's one thing to hear it. Wait till you get a text message screenshot
Yeah.
where somebody sends
Sent
it to
you
you,
in some-
and you're like,
Yeah.
that's how he really feels.
Right.
Dang, that dude just told me how proud he was of
I
us the other
know.
day, right?
But you know what you learn? You know what you learn is that not to take it personal, because everybody's hearts aren't like your hearts. Pat.
That's right.
You know what? And what we all do, we do with the motive of our heart. We do it because we want to see people succeed. We do it because we want people to win. We want people to know that, hey, that you can change your life.
Yeah.
I'll bring
don't
it to
forget
Joseph
that.
in the Bible. Look at what Joseph in the Bible went through. Here he is. You know, there's different areas you need to win in. Joseph, you know, got chosen as a slave. Here he is. He's a good worker. He's doing good in his place. They loved him. Then he gets thrown in prison for rape, accused of rape, and he's in there. He's for doing the right thing. He turned the girl away, and then he tells people about the dreams. And then what do they do again? They get because sometimes doing the right thing, it isn't for you, and you're not going to see it. You might not. You might say, I mean, I'm even learning this in my marriage with being a father, being an employer. Like, I do all this for these dudes and they are ungrateful. Well, I'm not doing all these things.
Don't
so
expect.
They're great. I'm
Don't
doing
ever
all these things
expect.
because it's the right thing to do and it
Right.
makes me a better you.
Yeah.
So if I can tell you, all them haters, and it's easy to get caught up in it, bro. I get mad. I'm like, I'm going to call that dude right now. He wants to say this about me.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
smack. And then you're
It's
like,
I'm like, let it
Tim
go.
had to check me. There was someone a
Yeah.
couple of weeks ago, and I reposted someone. And Tim's like, just take that.
don't
out. You
even get in it. Yeah, don't.
Let it go.
Yeah.
If you have to, type it out before you do it. Like what I'll do is my son is like, Dad, maybe we shouldn't say that. I'm like, it's pretty bad when a 15-year-old kid thinks clearer than I do. So I'll type it out and then be like,
read it back to yourself.
Yeah, don't do it. But I got to vent it, you know. So now you go through, you know, you're working, you relapse. Now when did you were clean till then? When did you relapse again? What happened there? When you started having problems in the relationship?
Well, so me and my wife a couple years ago started divorce process, brutal. Then we kind of got back together, put an abatement on it. And, you know, and I would never blame me relapsing on anyone.
Right.
It's a choice. So,
yeah. 100%.
But, you know,
but there's things that happen can lead to it, the way we have
it just wasn't the right, you know, fit, myself and her. And didn't like the way she make me feel about myself. So, you know, but like a particular situation, you know, I don't. It just kind of happened. Yeah. I can't really trace it back to anything, but I can remember the drive going to get what I got, and I'm literally wrestling.
Like, why am I doing this?
In my head.
I've done it a million times.
Yeah, because you think about it before you do it.
I've done it a million times.
I'm playing the tape, and I know what's going to happen.
Yep.
Like,
you know the end result.
The end result, like, you know. And then I remember this. I finally said in my head, like, this is who you are, Patrick. You're an addict, so just accept it. You know,
that's a lie.
You know.
And then how long were you in it until you were like, I'm done with this again?
Like I said, it was like 4 days, but it was a horrible 4 days. Right. It was just like I was just experiencing.
But you needed that.
I never.
You know why
I
you
was
needed
hallucinating
that,
and talking to my.
And
then my buddy checked me in the detox, and they called back a day later, and they're like, "We don't think your buddy's gonna make it." Like, you know,
wow.
He's in pretty bad shape. So I just, and it was. And you know, too, this is the first time working a program. Never did the AA, just you know, half-hearted, and never went in full time. Did the steps, and I can honestly say it's the first time I like God in my life.
Yeah,
like I pray every day.
Oh yeah, that's what
like
I believe.
I always believed in God, but I always was like,
you didn't have a relationship
God, why do
with
you
him.
hate me? You know,
and we blame God.
Blame God. I would, you know, play the blame game with God. Now I'm just grateful all the time, and you know, you have your hard days, and
everybody does.
Yeah, and you learn to pray and. You know, does it go away? No, but you know, you realize it's going to be okay.
And a lot of it's mental stuff, man. Like over time, that stuff gets easier, right? Over time, like I remember used to, as soon as something bad would happen, like say a car breaks down or transmission goes out, happens to everybody, right? You know what I mean? But I'm saying, I'd be like, I'm getting hammered. I've been living good. Why wouldn't I do it? You know?
Yeah.
And I remember, like after we had some years in, you know, and then we had to start working on a relationship. After about 2 years. I'd love to say it was great, but then we had to really dig in and get out the roots of little Dave and little Jahnna, you know, because the drug or the food or the porn, that's never the thing. It's the internal is what you're dealing with, so it's not the drug, you know. But I remember, you know, getting and going, and then I'm like, okay, I just got rocked. Like we just lost everything, and I didn't one time think about. If I go to the liquor store, it's going to be better. Matter of fact, I did the opposite. I thought, if I even went to the liquor store, it's going to be 10 times worse than it's going to be here tomorrow.
No, that never entered my mind. What entered my mind was, I got to show my kids how you're supposed to do this, right? I've got to show my kids, hey, life happens. Things are going to happen. But they're watching you to see how you're going to react to that. So that was more important to me than anything, was to show my kids, hey, this is adversity, and this is how you get out of it.
Yeah.
This is how you overcome it.
And not knowing, I don't want to, you know, my daughter was old enough to figure out like something
ain't right.
I don't want to leave my daughter like that again. And two, you know, a lot of people have not given up on me and been in my corner.
You don't want to let them down.
I do not want to let them down.
And you don't want to let yourself down.
If I did that at this point, like, they have to be done with me, like, you know, we're watching
They're
you,
going
like,
to.
after, and they
healthy.
would, and it would, you know.
You know, I always tell people, I'll never give up on you. You can give up on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but, and the thing too, not saying that we're above relapsing or anything like that, but I mean, you know, I think you get to a point when you're just like, yeah, this don't work, man. I'm done with it. And
it hasn't been a thought.
When I got some good Christian counseling and therapy and got in some touch with little Dave, I thought, man, if I would have done that, I'd be a millionaire now. You know how many rap careers I lost, bro, from being record deals, relapsing because I was scared I was going to mess it up and all. and then when I got in touch with the internal problem, I mean, honestly, our whole marriage changed. I changed as a father. I changed as a person. I changed with empathy. Like that, I got in touch. Then that was really took care of it. You know what I mean? And so.
And one thing you said, Pat, remember when people were asking you, do you miss it? And you went back to that and you said, yeah, I do miss it. So I think for you, that had to happen. That episode had to happen for it to put a bad taste in your mouth.
Exactly.
For you to know, hey, I'm not missing it.
No.
Right?
No.
We learned why we wasn't missing ours. We were doing good. The one time when we relapsed, we were like, let's stop and have a couple shots of tequila. Well, then
we're not. None of us are those kind of people.
Nope.
Right?
No.
We can't.
And I'm okay with that.
Because I didn't have a drinking problem, but I know if I have a couple drinks, then
it leads down that way. See,
your inhibitions are lower.
I used to be embarrassed to tell. Like I do a lot of jobs, and people are like, you want a beer when you're done? I'm like, no, man, I got to work. They'd be like, I would be like, I don't want to be weak and tell them. Now I'm like, nope, been sober. I'm proud of how long it has been. Oh, man. And then they're usually like, dude, that's cool. Absolutely. I wish hey, nothing wrong with that. But see, then there's people, alcohol and drugs always get there. There's people who eat too much. That's an addiction. Yeah. There's people who work too much.
Yeah.
That's an addiction. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean? They just traded one addiction for there's people, let's say like Tim and Alex. If they go and they have some drinks, that don't mean I'm like, oh God, man, Tim has some drinks. Oh God.
It's funny because Tim almost feels guilty now. Like, I only have two drinks. I don't judge Tim.
But he doesn't have that problem.
He doesn't have the problem. And I've never seen Tim
I never knew Tim drank till I seen him sober. But no. But the thing I'm saying is.
Stop picking on Tim.
But I mean, the thing is, because Tim can have control and be all that.
Absolutely.
That's no different. I mean, I had a guy at church one time tell me, those tattoos on your arm are sin. I go, no, your wife making another trip to the buffet is a sin. But I don't want to say nothing. You know what I mean? But what I mean is we can pick and choose. The addiction is never the thing itself is never a problem. It's internal. And once we got in touch with some internal stuff, man, it changed my life. And obviously Jesus is who we believe in. Changed our life. So
none of it's possible without.
Let's go over what it is as we wind this in, Pat. And this is just going to be, we'll get together again. We'll all have to do what? To get Larry on.
We got to get you on our
family
podcast.
Yeah. But, you got some help, right? You made positive life change, positive people.
Started having a relationship with God.
That was what I'm leading to the time. Positive people, got good people around. Got a relationship with God. Knowing God and having a relationship with God is two different. Knowing who God is and knowing God's two different things.
Difference,
And look at you now, a year in. You probably were like, oh man, a year. Like somebody would be like, oh, a year's not that long. Like shout out to Buff Bagwell. He's like 2.5 years now. The rest of my buddy Buff. And I remember when I first seen Buff got his first Marcus Buff Bagwell. He got his first year in. I was like, yeah. And then he got his second year in. He's like, yeah. He's like, now, man, I don't even really think about it. I can't imagine being there. You know what I mean?
You stop counting, you start living.
You start doing it. All right, we're going to wind it in.
Get a little
video. We're on here with Pat Jira.
I appreciate it.
Plug your podcast, bro. You and Larry's podcast. Tell them where they can find you. There'll be links below.
We're at
in the description.
239, Politic and Jira, Larry Love. We're on episode 36. Larry had to fly to DC. Larry's going to spend.
Larry's always on the move.
He's on the move. He's actually at the White House this week. Yeah, he spent some time
awesome.
at the White House this week, so can't do a show for a week. So I got my fix.
You got
Thanks to you guys.
And you get this too. You can cut whatever out of this you want to.
Thank you. No,
we don't care about that. That's how we do it over here, man.
Thank you. It's
we
a great
give each
honor
other love.
To be on you guys' show.
And
this is a lot of fun.
And man, you're doing a good thing. Every time I get around you, man, I get to know you a little more. I mean, this is gonna sound cliche, but I like you more because you don't know somebody like.
I called Tim when we had the after Mission Barbecue where we spent, and I said, I really like Dave and John, because you didn't really know him, and you kind of perceived. I thought you were a little arrogant, a little loud.
I keep getting that, Tim. Tim, do I seem arrogant?
But that's where we're flawed human beings ourselves, so we judge people sometimes. Right. And I was like, man, I really like them.
Confidence could come across as arrogant.
I come in a certain way, but it's usually, but I'm like, dang, maybe I better chill out.
No, you be you.
Sweeter boy.
Well, people got to get to know you, and that's how it usually is until you sit down.
Well, I always make a joke. People love me or they don't like me. And a lot of the people that don't like me have never been around me. Because then when they get around, they go, bro, you ain't nothing like I thought you were. You know what I mean?
Big teddy bear.
Yeah, really, I am. And if you could call me in the middle of the night and be like, there's 4 dudes here, and I'll come in my pajamas to help you fight, bro. Like, it's that legitimate, bro. I'm like that. I'm that type of dude. But
here we come.
So I'm proud of you, Pat. You got a year in. It's the sky's the limits, man. I'm proud of what you're doing. You're staying consistent on the podcast. I'm watching your views and numbers grow. It can only keep going.
Trying to get to that Relentless Hope status.
Hey, man, keep going. You'll get there, man. Hey, if we can do it, anybody can do it.
That's right.
You know, keep pushing. If you're out there and you're struggling with something, here's 3 people right here that if we can do it, anybody can do it.
Facts.
Pat's proof. I'm proof. My beautiful wife is proof. If you need help, send us an email, a comment. We'll try to direct you, do anything we can. Remember, it all starts with a little bit of hope, but sometimes you got to be relentless with it.
Let's go.
Cash out me some drinks. No, I'm just playing. We're out of here.